Thanks for joining us and welcome to DWC News Network. Today we bring you stories on what is happening in our local and international politics. We also have stories about some of the issues making news in the entertainment industry. In our feature segment, we will take you to U Street for a look into Washington, D.C.'s diverse food culture through the lenses of one Ethiopian restaurant. To start, we will send it over to our political team for the latest development.
Good afternoon. I'm Gabe Ferris with DWC Political News. First, a story from Noel Mineo about the United States Supreme Court and President Trump's travel ban.
This is Noel Mineo coming to you from the School of International Service. A big victory for the Trump administration on Monday. The Supreme Court approved parts of Trump's recent travel ban. This decision will affect 6 majority Muslim nations. Countries already affected by the ban include Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan. The ban was brought up to the Supreme Court after it was struck down by the Ninth Circuit. Immigrant rights organizations like the International Refugee Assistance Project are leading the protest against the travel ban. They hope that the Supreme Court will uphold the judgment of the lower courts. Now, back to you, Gabe.
Thank you, Noel. We will be waiting for the final decision in October. In America's ever-changing political world comes changing diplomatic policy. Now, a story from Alexa Harris about the changing tensions in Korea.
Good afternoon. I'm Alexa Harris, reporting from the American University School of International Service. Some sadder news to report this week is the passing of Otto Warmbier, the 22-year-old American college student from University of Virginia, who had been held in North Korea since January of 2016 for allegedly stealing a propaganda poster. Warmbier's death comes only a week after his release on June 12th. The government of North Korea said that Warmbier was in a coma for most of his detention. Warmbier's death raises important questions about the United States' relationship with North Korea. One of the questions is if Americans should be allowed to travel to the nation. The State Department recently warned U.S. citizens not to travel to North Korea because of the danger that is imminent. Now back to Noel in the studio.
As previously mentioned, healthcare is also an area of change. Thea Nagel is here to give us insight into what is dubbed Trump Care.
I'm Thea Nagel with your latest DWC political news. It is clear that the health care debate is far from over. In the Senate, a final vote has yet to be made regarding the repeal or replacement of the Affordable Care Act. After failing to garner enough support among Republican lawmakers, Senate Leader Mitch McConnell announced that no decision will be made until July 10th, when the Senate returns from 4th of July recess. The Congressional Budget Office reviewed the bill to point out its problematic aspects. The bill would leave 22 million more people uninsured after 10 years. Out-of-pocket medical expenses would skyrocket for the working poor and those near retirement. McConnell now has the recess to gain support from 9 senators who said they would not support the bill in its current form. Now back to Noel in the studio.
I'm Noel Mineo.
And I'm Gabe Ferris.
Thanks for tuning in to DWC News for your latest political updates.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Gabe and Noel. It is important to note that Congress will be returning from recess next week. Now to our team covering some of the latest entertainment and the celebrities making news, sometimes for the wrong reasons.
I am Benjamin Schiller and welcome to the very first edition of DWC News.
Uber has become an effective rideshare service. While it has benefited many, reports of abuse have always surrounded the company. Following public pressure, CEO of Uber, Travis Kalanick, stepped down. Many Uber drivers and some company employees were accused of discrimination and even sexual harassment.
Thank you, Renee. Jackson Wald has a very good story about how the actions of artists could affect how many people listen to their music. Let's throw it over to Jackson.
Various artists, such as rapper XXXTentacion and sculptor Carl Andre, have received serious outrage for their controversial actions. XXXTentacion, whose real name is Jose Onfroy, was arrested for strangling his girlfriend. Andre was acquitted for murdering his wife and fellow artist Ana Mendieta in 1988. Despite the court finding him not guilty, Andre's exhibits have been heavily protested by feminist groups and fellow artists. Andre has had art pieces sell upward of $100,000 since his arrest, and XXXTentacion's most played track since his release from jail has over 18 million listens.
Next, let's throw it over to Matt Garfinkel.
Thanks, Ben. And in more entertainment news, XXL has finally released their annual freshman list for the year 2017. For those who aren't familiar, hip-hop magazine XXL releases a list every year of 10 up-and-coming artists who they think are going to make waves the following year. This year's list including a very diverse array of talents. Each artist has their own distinct sound, and none of them represent a traditional approach to hip-hop. Only time will tell whether or not XXL's predictions for this year were correct. But for now, you can form your own opinion about each artist.
Thank you for tuning in. I am Benjamin Schiller.
Thank you, Ben, for that fascinating report from the social team. Often seen as a melting pot of cultures, Washington, D.C. has seen a lot of changes in the past few years. One of the ways to experience that change is through its diverse food industry. Our reporters visited the Shaw neighborhood to get a first-hand experience of a local food spot that has been serving as a gateway into Ethiopian culture through their food.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm Joanna. We are here at Queen of Sheba to learn about the food and culture of Ethiopia.
Queen of Sheba is a traditional Ethiopian restaurant located on U Street, Washington, D.C. Owner Nagisi Gebreyesus has been successfully running the restaurant since 2005. When she first opened the restaurant, her customers were mainly Ethiopians. However, over the years, Americans and people of other cultures have come to enjoy and appreciate Ethiopian food at her restaurant.
We were here 10 years ago. It was not like this. It's changing rapidly. And it's nice with new faces, new culture, new people.
Although her customer base has grown more diverse over the years, her menu has remained the same. The menu consists of authentic food that Ethiopians typically eat in the comfort of their homes. Gebreyesus invited us to try a sample plate of one of their most popular dishes. They are usually large portions of meats, lentils, and vegetables put at the center of the table for all to share. The centerpiece of the dish is a spongy sourdough flatbread known as injera. This is the principal traditional food in Ethiopia and Eritrea. The injera, which comes with every meal, has a taste that counters the rest of the spicy food. Most spices, known as berbere, come directly from Ethiopia. While trying the food, we all agreed the injera is a strong acquired taste. It definitely helped to balance the spices in the meat and vegetables.
It's those, we all have to kind of know each other. So by having our food, you know each other. I go to Chinese food or to Italian food, so connecting together.
Sharing food shows the ability to create a stronger community, which is highly valued in Ethiopian culture. Although we live in times of cultural tensions in America and around the world, it is important for people from different cultures to know and appreciate each for their unique qualities. There is no better way to do that than trying out the food served at places like Queen of Sheba. On behalf of the Features team, I'm Reagan Garrity.
Thank you, Reagan. We hope you enjoyed our show today. Please be sure to tune in to DWC tomorrow for all the latest and greatest coverage. I'm Lauren Turman, and this has been DWC News.